Yo, we gonna be talking about is Christianity a book club? Does Elohim, does God command us to read the Bible? And does his son, Yahshua, Jesus, does he command us to read it too? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a book, it's just the Bible. Why do we even need it? Well, we're gonna be starting in Jeremiah 29, verse 13 to see what it really can do for us. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. How do we seek the creator of the universe? And how do we find God? How do we find Elohim? And it says, search for him with all your heart. What is the heart? How am I going to search for him with all my heart? People say they're brokenhearted. People say they have an evil heart. They don't even know how to control their heart. They don't even know what the heart is. We're going to be going to Hebrews 4:12 to see how we can search for him with all our heart, to see what actually the heart means. For the word of God, Elohim, is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So it says the word of Elohim is quick, powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword. Keep that in mind because we're going to be talking about that. But we came here to see what the heart is, the discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. My heart has thoughts and intents. Sounds like the mind. The heart is actually the mind. That's why we came here for. The heart doesn't have thoughts and intents. It has to be talking about the mind. So we know the heart is the mind. So in Jeremiah 29:13, when it says search for him with all your heart, it actually means to search for him with all your mind. We're in Isaiah 34 verse 16, and we're here because Jeremiah 29:13 said, you shall seek him and ye shall find him. So we're going to figure out how we can do that. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord Yahuwah and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. We seek him out of this book and read. Not one of these shall fail. So in Jeremiah 29:13, when it says seek him and you shall find him, we seek him and find him out this book. But we read this book. And it says, for my mouth it hath commanded. His mouth it commanded us. And is Elohim, is God a liar? No. So if he's telling us we're not going to fail, we're not going to. And his spirit it hath gathered us. So we seek him and we find him out this book and we read it. We're not going to fail. For my mouth it hath commanded us, and his spirit it has gathered us. We're in Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, and we're here from Isaiah 34:16, where it says, seek him and find him out this book and read it. And we're going to see what else this book can do for us. But I recommend you to read verse 7 on your own time, or we're going to get straight to the point. Read verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. In verse 8, it says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. It shall not leave us. I say that at the end of my prayers. I ask the Father, I ask Elohim, God, and I say, don't have your word, don't have your book depart from my mouth or leave me. Then it goes on to say, but thou shalt meditate therein once a week, every Sunday, when I want to. No, meditate on this book therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all, not some, all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So then we'll have good success. After we do all that is in this verse, then you have good success. Not a snap, and then you're perfect, and then you're already good. Nah, then you shall have good success after you do all that it is said in this verse. Yo, we're in Matthew chapter 4, and we're going to see how Jesus, how Christ, Mashiach, responded to Satan when he was being tempted in the wilderness while he was fasting. We're going to start in verse 3. And when the tempter, that's Satan, that's the devil, came to him, he said, if thou be the son of Elohim, command that these stones be made bread. So Satan's tempting him, telling him, if you be the son of Elohim, make these stones become bread. And this is how Christ, this is how Mashiach responds. Verse 4, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Elohim. Jesus, Yahshua, responded to being tempted by Satan by using the word. He said, it is written. He's quoting Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3, if you guys want to read that. He said, man shall not live by bread alone. John 6:48, he is that bread of life. We fast, we should be replacing the stuff we eat with by getting our real daily bread, which is Jesus, which is this word. And we see that in Matthew 6, the prayer, he said, give us day by day our daily bread, which is this word, which is Jesus, Yahshua. And in Matthew 4, it continues on to say, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Elohim. And how did he come into existence? By the mouth of the Father, by the mouth of God, Elohim. That's how he came into existence. That's how he responded to being tempted by Satan in the wilderness by the word. The word is our protection. We're in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5, and we're seeing how else this word can protect us, how we can resist the devil by this word. Verse 5, every word of Elohim is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. He is a shield unto us when we put our trust inside his word. Every word of Elohim is pure. We put our trust in him, and he will be a shield unto us. It sounds like Ephesians 6. Let's go there. We're in Ephesians 6. We're going to start in verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that we may be able to stand against the devil. Verse 12, most of y'all heard about this. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities and powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness. All right, we're going to start in verse 17, but I recommend you read this whole chapter to get the whole context. But we're going to start in verse 17. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Elohim. The sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Elohim. You have nothing to protect yourself with if you don't have the word. You have no sword to protect yourself. For we not fight against flesh and blood, but we fight against spiritual wickedness. You have no spiritual sword to protect yourself if you don't have this word.